and welcome to Reliving My Youth. My name is Noel. I had a chance to speak with the members of the band Princess Goes, featuring lead singer Michael C. Hall, yes, the same Michael C. Hall who was in Dexter and 6 Feet Under, keyboardist Matt Katz-Bohen, who was in Blondie, and drummer Peter Yanowitz, who was in Morningwood and the Wallflowers. They just released their amazing second album, Come of Age. Talk about that. They're also planning a tour beginning in December. Talk about how the band got together. And, of course, I had to throw in a Dexter question. Hopefully not the same one that everyone has asked. Really enjoyed my conversation with the guys, and I hope you do as well. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So the second album, Come of Age, is fantastic. It seems like you guys really, I want to say matured since the first album, because that's not fair, but it seems like you guys are like a well-oiled machine now.
Thank you, man.
So Peter, like, do you feel like you guys have a lot more, like, the instruments played like a bigger role on this album?
Yeah, we did add a little bit more guitar, a little more guitar than we have in the past two releases, and I think maybe the tone of this album is a little more unique to the other two. But yeah, I think we started it on our first EP of just sort of being a band that crosses genres, and Come of Age is got a little bit of everything, but I think it hangs together. Yeah, really glad you like it, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, like, crosses genres. What do you? I mean, obviously record sales mean nothing now, but like if you guys performed in a band like 20, 30 years ago, would that have been like kind of like troublesome, crossing genres, because you should be pigeonholed into one genre? Does that even matter anymore now?
I don't think so. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you listen to an album like Sgt. Pepper, there's
Right.
quite a lot of genre crossing on there. Same with a band like Blondie. There's a bunch of genre crossing. Even Bowie was known to sort of dabble in everything, punk and funk, and so I don't know if it necessarily would be such a bad thing.
Right. Yeah, and two of the artists you mentioned, obviously the Beatles and Bowie, I always say they're probably the two biggest influences and like biggest job creators in the arts. Both of everyone points to one of those two as a particular influence. I know, Michael, you have sung in front of Bowie and worked with him. Was he a big influence on you?
Yeah, I was definitely a fan of his, from the time I was in a chance to work on that production and with him and to meet him, like, deepened my appreciation for his music and also just him as a person. But yeah, he's definitely an influence. And an influence musically, and I think someone who always captivated me as an actor, because he shape shifted the sort of persona through which he was performing his songs over the course of his career. Even within a song, there would be what felt like maybe three different voices or characters coming through. So yeah, huge.
Yeah, it seemed like back then it was okay to be an entertainer, and he was an entertainer because he wore many hats. Now, do you feel like they try to like just label you as an actor? Now you're just doing, now you've got this band. There's other actors who, do bands as well. Do you feel that you're just should be an entertainer as one particular label?
Yeah, I mean, I do love Bowie's era, and then before that, where I mean, everybody was like a song and dance man,
Right.
I mean,
Rat Pack.
James Cagney.
Yeah.
uh, uh, and I mean, whatever the trend is in terms of pigeonholing people and how one thing maybe pigeonholes you more than another thing, I kind of leave that to, whoever's a part of the committee that's making those decisions. I don't really worry about it.
Right. Yeah.
It kind of takes care of itself. but I definitely didn't feel like there was anything official saying that I couldn't do
Yeah,
this. I wasn't breaking any laws.
right. Yeah. Now, do you feel like, obviously you're no stranger to being on the stage, singing, musicals and stuff like that? Is there a different mindset going into being yourself in the band as opposed to performing as a character?
Um, yes and no. I mean, there's no script, but there is a script because there are songs, and those songs have lyrics, and so you've prepared and I mean, I think once the ball is rolling, once the performance is happening, performing is performing, and every play versus musical versus show that we've done, they all have their own sort of identity or personality that develops. Ultimately, it's more fundamentally the same than it is different. I think this. I certainly think that performing on stage with a band is a lot more analogous to performing as an actor on stage than doing it in front of a camera.
Right.
I mean, and I would say I would even say that acting on stage is more like being in a band than it is like being on a movie set. It's all about sharing the space in the moment live with an audience and your fellow performers. And so in that sense, it is comparable to performing live as an actor. And I don't know, there's probably a character who develops. I think all of us have a way of being, the three of us on stage, that is different than the way we are otherwise. So whether they're character names in a list of characters at the beginning of a play, they're still characters.
Yeah. So Matt, how did you guys meet?
How did we meet? This is it's funny you should ask that, actually. So I go way back with Peter. I've known him since early 2000s in the sort of New York rock and roll and indie sleaze scene. And he had a band called Morningwood. I had a band called Daddy. And we sort of knew of each other, but then we got closer on Hedwig, which was a musical on Broadway where Peter was the drummer and Mike was, Hedwig. And the two of them worked together, and they were in the band every night, and they were rocking out every night, albeit in a fake band or a theatrical band production. And then I joined on as assistant music director. I did the tour of the US, and Peter and I started hanging more. We started jamming when we all got back to town. We got back to New York. We started recording those jams. And then Peter and Mike were hanging out, and they went to dinner once, and Peter played Mike some of the stuff we were working on, which was just, a lot of it was mostly drums and keyboard. I would be at the keyboard, Peter would be at the drums. And Mike, noticed that there weren't any vocals on there. And I think he said he would take a shot at putting some vocals on there. And then luckily the results just sort of blew all of our minds and exceeded our expectations. And we said, wow, this is really something special that's worth pursuing here. And so we did. And that was the first song that I heard Mike do vocals on. It's called Love American Style.
I never put
It's on our first EP, which is, it's all out there. It's all online everywhere.
So why did Peter, why'd you guys shorten the name?
Yeah, we used to be called Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum, and we felt like Princess should be able to go wherever the hell she wants. And it was a mouthful. I think what was it, Mike, when you hold your phone up horizontally?
Oh yeah.
Off.
When you hold it this way, it would often say Princess Goes to the Butt. And so, I mean, which is fine, but that's not exactly what we were going. Anyway, it was a combination of things. A lot of venues charge for the kiosk by the letter, so it was getting really expensive.
Letters like
Yeah.
10,000 Bitcoin or dollars or
Whatever.
Yeah, and it gets exponentially more expensive once you get behind. But anyway.
And then a second row and everything like that. That's just gonna, you gotta.
Yeah.
Totally. Now, Peter, I love Morningwood, by the way. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I was just listening to some of it last week. Really into it. Yeah. So the process of making a song, is it different each time? Like, Michael, do you present them with the lyrics and the music follows, or is that just happens organically each time?
There's no formula. Like, I mean, there have been times I don't think actually the one you just presented, I don't think has ever happened where I present lyrics just without any music or anything. There have been times where I've had some like melodic ideas that had lyrics that I shared and built songs from there, but as much or more often, it's a musical idea that Peter has or Matt has, or that Matt and Peter came up with, or in some instances that the three of us maybe discovered together. But we do it, and as Peter says, we're just trying to find songs or catch them however we can, there's all kinds of different ways that we've come upon songs.
Now, with this album, it seems like it flows like beautifully from offering, all the way down to floating. Is an order, like, is that imperative in making an album? Do you go into the recording session knowing you have a particular order of songs in mind, or just kind of happens?
It definitely happens after a lot of thought and after the fact. I think once you have the group, I don't know, Mike said recently that it was like a dinner party, and how you seat people will dictate like what kind of night and how the conversation will go on. I think sequencing as a perfect metaphor for sequencing. We're interested in making albums from start to finish, all killer, no filler. That's my new slogan, all killer, no filler. No, just try to, I think an album is sort of like a conversation we are having with our community out there that's listening to us, and it's so important. Our first full length, thanks for coming, our mixer Brandon Boast actually suggested a sequence that we stuck with for that, and that we were really like, I think we were all struck by how strong his sequence was, and then for Come of Age we did it just the three of us sending ideas around, and it seemed like Offering was a no-brainer because of that drone and how the album starts. seemed like it had to go first, and Floating also seemed like such a great kiss goodbye for this album.
I'm floating for the day, I'm rolling with my dog. I do my world away, nothing to figure out. Lean back and dig my shape, make me into whatever. I'm lonely like a cloud, floating for the day. Feels good to let it go, leave it to the wind. Don't care to know the way I'm blowing. It looks so hard, but best to soften up our eyes. Oh, your hazardous bad guesses. So far from knowing.
I think everything else in the middle had, to be massaged in there. But yeah, we were really stoked on the way it turned out.
Right. And what you mentioned, the dinner party reference. So you don't want to have any songs disagree with each other, right? You're like a crazy aunt and like a distant relative.
Exactly.
Sure they all flow.
Not taking home a bitch. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Who is Beja?
Your blushes riding high. You're painting everybody pictures with your dancing. The strangers all shiver down the line just for a chance to throw back your bouquet. porcelain, heart's a hummingbird hovering.
That's actually, those lyrics were inspired by on our first tour of the UK and Ireland. We played with this woman who opened for us, whose stage name is Beja Flo, and we were really captivated by her as a person and the stories she told and the way she performed. And I just felt like that's Beja is just such a beautiful thing to sing. It's like a beautiful way to start a song. And Peter had this musical idea that he shared shortly after we got back, and that's, yeah. And so those lyrics were inspired by her. I mean, I don't want her to feel in any way bound by or obligated by the leaping off point that she gave us. But yeah, that's who Beja is, which was fun because we were just in the UK and Europe, and the UK shows. She joined us again, so we were able to play that song and let the audience know that amazing woman they just saw inspired the song we were about to play, and that was fun.
What was her reaction to the song?
She hated it. No, I think she liked it. If you didn't, then she did a really good job of convincing us she did. I think she was really touched, and she's told us that she's gonna write one for us or with us in mind. So no pressure, but that would be fun to hear.
Yeah, right, exactly. Has anyone ever come up to you, Michael, and said like this song meant so much to me, and they give you the reasons why, and then you just think to yourself, this is not what the song was intended to be?
I mean, people have let me, maybe not in the same conversation, people have let me know that the music means a lot to them, and but maybe that hasn't been followed by them telling me why and having them. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel like a song can mean whatever you want it to mean. Once we share it with the world, I feel like it belongs to the listener, and whatever we meant it to mean or meant the lyrics to mean or whatever, that's what it means. What it means to somebody else is none of our business, So if somebody interprets one of our songs or the lyrics to our songs in a way that is out of sync with something we intended, I think that's great. It's like, I mean, as long as they're not like it inspired me to, do something horrible.
Right.
But no, I mean, I think that's the part of the fun of things being kind of inscrutable or opaque or like open to interpretation, and that's a part of the fun of it. There's many sort of ways of interpreting a song as there are people who encounter it. So I wouldn't like condemn somebody for having a different take on a song than maybe I did, because
right,
it's theirs as much as it's mine.
So Matt, when do you know when an album is done?
Oh God, how do you know when the album is done? You just feel like it's just time. I mean, you can tinker endlessly. There's always the temptation to remix endlessly and tinker, and we have pretty amazing tools at our disposal, including our mix engineer Brandon Boast, who's just an incredible human being. And he gets us, and he is partially responsible for the way the album sounds. Obviously, he mixed it. Like the song Blur, for example, started off one way, and we were playing it live, and it was sounded more traditional band-ish, little U2-y vibe. And then Peter and Brandon sort of broke it down to its more basic elements, and it reemerged as kind of a a synth pop banger. And luckily Michael's vocals worked beautifully on both versions.
At best I'm but a blur if you remember me at all. Fuzzy memories playing on your basement VCR. Found a final payphone, dropped my change and made the call. You picked up, whispered last room on the left hand of the hall. Found you faced away in your pristine uniform. Red lights turned down low, signal by the convenience store. Still up there on the ceiling, breathing in and out. My box of brag and bitter, power down. You still won't show your face, but I'm not gonna apart. Don't call me baby, 'cause baby I'm full grown now. Don't call me baby, baby I'm full grown now. Baby I'm full grown now. Never was much of a stuntman. Preferred to stay inside the plane till she landed. But you're reflecting my dead arrow. If I jump right now, I believe you'll understand it. But still won't show your face, but I'm not gonna apart. Don't call me baby, 'cause baby I'm full grown now. Don't call me baby, 'cause baby I'm full grown now. Baby I'm full grown now.
And then I was thinking, oh, should I, maybe I need to like put some more bass on it. Maybe I need to, I don't know, put some more guitar on it. And then I think Peter and Michael just sort of felt like, no, this is done. And I think we all just kind of feel it instinctually when something is done. And adding more spices or more salt to the mix is just gonna throw off the balance, essentially.
Right. You don't want to like George Lucas tinker it with like Star Wars. You just want to just
Or Chinese democracy it and
yeah,
just
yeah.
15 years on an album.
Exactly. I know this one just came out, but you guys have any ideas for the follow-up to this album?
No, I think if we were a smart band, we probably would have saved 6 of these songs for our next record. I'm just kidding. No, we always want to put our best foot forward, and I think we will mess with the way we record. We do all of our own records in our own studio. We don't bring anybody in other than Brandon, who is a really big part of the music making process. And I think a lot of times Brandon will send something that's almost finished, kind of finished, and this goes back to your last question. If he hears something that we forgot to put on, or obviously just didn't hear that needs to be there, he'll put it on, and every single time he's right. It's like, oh yeah, we needed that bass on that. but no, we'll probably mix it up next record, and you know, I don't know, it's going to be interesting because we think maybe we'll leave the safe confines of our studio in Union Square, New York, and maybe go make a record in El Paso at Sonic Ranch, or go out to Dave Catching's studio in the Rancho de la Luna in the Southern California desert, which is a place that we've already booked time in, but then the pandemic kind of knocked that out. So we might go back and make that record that we were going to make in the desert. I don't know. It's kind of, or it might be a combination of studios and producers that we work with, and do a couple songs with this person, do a couple songs with that person. I don't know. It's the sky's the limit, but we have, as we're touring for this record, Come of Age, we'll hopefully find some time to write some new gems.
Right. Now, where you record, can you draw inspiration from the location?
Absolutely. We're a New York band. I mean, I feel like you walk down the right block and you'll find a song on a stoop somewhere. You know, I don't know. There seems to be endless amount of energy, and we've made all our music here, so it's clearly, it has an effect on us, even though we all at times live in different places, and are up to other stuff. This city always brings us back together.
Now I'm gonna go off on a quick left turn here, Michael. Do you have any particular Dexter collectibles, or do you have one thing you took from the show?
I have his watch. I had his little lanyard for a while, but I gave it to some kid. I'm not really that sentimental when it comes to those kinds of artifacts, but I do have the clothes that he was wearing at the very end of this last reboot hanging in my closet.
Okay.
And I have a number of dead bodies in my basement.
Okay, good. I'll edit that part out. So
yeah.
Do you have that 3D sculpture that kid gave you on this last tour in Paris? Did that make it home okay?
Oh, yeah, I have it right here. Well, I know this is just an audio thing, but this isn't Dexter, but some guy did a 3D print.
Oh, wow.
3D printed this. Yeah, creepy, right?
That's great.
Ooh. Yeah.
Love
yeah,
that.
He stayed intact. I managed to get him home with that. But yeah, Dexter, yeah, I don't have a ton of stuff, to be honest. Just my memories.
Right. And the bodies, of course. Yeah, right. Yeah. You guys, videos are fantastic. Have you guys even thought about embracing AI for any of the videos?
What does that even mean? I'm not even sure.
All right, because I was talking with a band, the Andy Warhols, and their latest video was basically done with AI. So they would just type up a couple of phrases, what they wanted, and then it just generated the ideas and the video for them.
Wow. Let's do that, guys.
Yeah,
awesome.
We should do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should try that.
Right. Yeah. So who is like the main, idea man for the videos? Is it a band idea, or do you have to bring in the director? Who
more often than not, it's the director. I mean, I think, yeah, we like collaborating with people whose ideas we generally like, and I think it's fun to let somebody kind of run with an idea and be their guinea pigs. I don't know. I can't think of a video we've made that isn't to some degree like that. We haven't really ruled with an iron fist or any kind of fist. It's just sort of like an open hand, like do what you want, and that's been fun. Is that accurate? I think that's accurate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's great. Well, Come of Age is out now. You guys are going on tour next month, right?
Yeah, we have dates in December and some in January as well.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck with the tour, and the album is fantastic, and I can't wait to hear what's next from you guys.
Thanks so much, Noel.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
right, thank you so much. And a special thanks to Michael, Peter, and Matt from Princess Goes. You can check out their website, princessgoes.com. Follow them on X, formerly Twitter, @princessgoes_. They're also on Facebook. And if you have a guest suggestion for me, you can follow me on Twitter @theFirstNoel19 or like the page Reliving My Youth on Facebook. If you like this episode, there are plenty more. You can subscribe to it on iTunes. While you're there, please rate and review the show. Don't have iTunes. Shows on Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, basically wherever you can find a podcast. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you soon.